Erik Darling here with Darling Data, and we're having just a momentous moment of spiritual awakening here in the Darling Data household, which means it is time for office hours. Yeah, buddy. This is where I answer 5 of your deepest, darkest, most probing, penetrating, difficult SQL Server questions that you have deigned to hurl at me over the internet. If you would like to ask a question that gets answered here, you can go to this link. This link is down in the video description. If you would like to support this channel, the link to do so is also down in the video description. It is just a nice way to say thanks for all this stuff. All of this content is, of course, free. You can like, you can comment, you can subscribe if you're broke. Cool with me. If you would like to hire me to fix your SQL Server, perhaps the Q&A here is just not enough to get you across that proverbial finish line. You can hire me to do a health check, a performance analysis, hands-on server, query, index tuning, whatever it is, helping you with your SQL Server emergencies where the server is on fire, and of course training your developers to prevent server fires in the future. If you would like to get just some training from me, you can do that. That link, with the discount code, it comes to about 150 US dollars, and that's good for the rest of your life. Event season is eventually eventing. We have SQL Saturday New York City 2025 on May the 10th, Redgate on tour, New York City, Dallas, and Amsterdam, taking place throughout the summer, August, September, and October. Dates are all right there if you're interested. And of course, Past Data Summit coming up in Seattle this November, and I hope to be at every single one of them. So that'll be a fun time. With that out of the way, though, let's answer these office-y, hour-y questions here. Let's see. Up first, we have, what is the effect of having a few queries using read committed isolation level where the database is set to RCSI while those dumb read committed queries block any others? So assuming that you mean you are running these queries with the read committed lock hint applied to them, yeah, those queries will obey the semantics of the read committed isolation level, and under certain circumstances, depending on the query plan, they can block modification queries and deadlock with modification queries. The specifics of that are all in my playlist on YouTube over here. It's called Everything You Know About Isolation Levels is Wrong. That's a little bit of a curious question, though. I'd like to know, like, why you have that for them, maybe, and also maybe something like, how do you know they're actually running and read committed? Because the DMVs will lie to you about that. But anyway, let's move on to the next question. A little bit of a Zoom it hiccup there. Do you have any suggestions for optimizing data retrieval using full text? Okay, we're going to stop reading right there. No. Full text search is an absolute turd bag of a product in Microsoft SQL Server. Do not touch it. Do not use it. It's nothing but bad experiences. If you need to do this sort of full text search, Elasticsearch is the way to go. Don't bother with it here. It'll screw you every which way. My big experience with full text search was back my very last DBA job before I became a consultant extraordinaire. Was with a company that was doing like relativity was a relativity software provider. Relativity is e-discovery software, so like you get sued and like the entire digital contents of your life get put into a SQL Server database for lawyers to search through. So that's like your Outlook files, chats, everything, like email headers, like titles, like the body, any document attachments, the contents of those attachments, like everything. And for a while they were trying to use full text search to like let people search through like emails and stuff, and it was a nightmare. It was so bad that they started using a third-party product called DT search to index this stuff. The DT and DT search are such some dude's initials. Like, it's just one guy who like made this like special search index thing. If like the last I heard, they were actually moving to Elasticsearch to do like grid search stuff. But if you need to do it, Elasticsearch is the way to go. The licensing is free, but the like time that gets spent on it is you figuring out how to like have it read SQL Server, index the data, and then do your searching over there. But full text search in SQL Server is just a no-go for me. I don't even try for it anymore. It's just useless. If I were to want to kill all the table partitions by fire, what brand of flamethrower would you recommend? Wayland Industries, probably. I think those are some of the best flamethrowers I've ever seen. But I'm sort of curious why you would want to undo partitioning, assuming the table's big enough. Undoing partitioning is just as painful as doing partitioning to a big table, and you hopefully have a pretty good reason for exploring that path in life. Do you know of any documentation that makes it very obvious what max server memory controls? No. Like practically speaking, max server memory controls how much memory like the buffer pool and some other memory consumers use. It does not fully control stuff like memory for like CLR, linked servers, memory grants. What's the other one? There's another one that's skipping my mind right now. Shoot. What is it? CLR, buffer pool. Yeah, like it just doesn't control like what the total SQL Server process can use. Column store. Column store is another one that can use memory from like above that. It does like sort of give you like a best effort at controlling how much memory gets left over to Windows, but it doesn't work for everything. You can certainly go over that by a bit. Like I used to have a big problem on a server where like, it was like a 5 terabyte database or something, and the server had like 768 gigs of memory. And with max server memory set to like 90% of that, every time dbcc checkdb ran on this database, the server would stack dump and like crash. But with max server memory set to like 80%, it would do fine. So there's all sorts of stuff that can have it go over that. I'm not aware of any documentation that makes it very clear and precise and simple to tell you what it controls and to like how far over certain things are allowed to go. You would need to like bother the Microsoft documentation team to do that. Last question on this one. I am writing C# classes and building CLRs for string comparisons. Ooh, you poor soul. Then creating a TVF for execution. The TVF is creating row estimates of exactly 1000 x my row actuals. 2 rows creates a 2 of 2000, for example. No query hint seemed to resolve this. How would you work to control these estimates from my... So compiled C# code is a black box to SQL Server. There's not a whole lot you can do to make that better. You can try the sort of standard tricks with like top and like cross apply and stuff, but I don't think that there's a great way to have SQL Server see inside your C# function to have it figure out what it might do there. You are sort of putting a blindfold on the optimizer for this one. Especially if the string comparison is done in the C# or like the C# produces a string that you're comparing to something else. I don't know if perhaps it's regex or some other, like, I don't know what the string comparison functionality you're doing is, but seeing bad estimates from this stuff is par for the course. You might see some difference in how SQL Server makes these guesses, which I would imagine are going to be pretty stock across like different cardinality estimation models. So like if you're using the legacy cardinality estimator, you might try the default cardinality estimator and vice versa. Or if you might try different like query compatibility levels, like 150 versus 110 or something, to see if that changes it at all. But I don't think you're going to have a lot of luck getting accurate estimates out of CLR functions doing string comparisons. Doing any kind of comparisons, or rather this C# functions in general, are going to be kind of tough to like have good estimates for. I can't think of like a reasonable way for the optimizer to make that guess better. Like who knows what your like special C# code is doing. Like there's just no way to expose that to the optimizer to have it make better guesses. Yeah, that would be, that's a bit much. I think temper your expectations, whatnot on that one. I guess like on the plus side, like that doesn't seem like too bad of an estimate. If the estimate is causing problems, then you might need to do something temp table-y to materialize the results and then do some extra work off that once SQL Server has a stable result set to work off of. But just like putting that like in a query and doing some string comparisons there, I can't imagine that would go well no matter what the CLR function is doing. But anyway, that is the end of these 5 questions. I will see you in the next video. We'll do something else, and I don't know. Keep the questions coming. If you would like to ask your very own questions here, you can go to this very link and you can shoot them right at me, and I'll shoot some answers right back at you. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.